TRS 2498 students. Yesterday, we were discussing about the respiratory system or respiration. Today, we will discuss two important topics. The first topic, respiratory volumes and capacities. Second part, exchange of gases. These two topics will be covered in this class. First, respiratory volumes and capacities. Definitely in the coming week, from this topic, you can expect a question. That's why I inform all the students, listen carefully. So respiratory volumes and respiratory capacities. Coming to the respiratory volumes, first one is tidal volume, TB, tidal volume, the amount of air, that is inspired or expired in normal breathing. That is the definition. The amount of air inspired or expired in normal breathing. This is estimated about 500 ml. So that is the first one, TB, tidal volume. The amount of air inspired or expired in each breathing, that is about 500 ml. So the tidal volume per minute, how much? Into 12 to 16 times. So that is 6,000 ml to 8,000 ml. Ivanni numerical figures. So every student should be note down all these numerical figures. Next one. Second one, inspiratory reserve volume. Inspiratory reserve volume, this is otherwise called IRV. IRV, inspiratory reserve volume. This is the amount of air, the volume of air. This is additional volume of air. Additional volume of air that a person can inspire by forcible inspiration. Second definition, inspiratory reserve volume, that means additional volume of air that a person can inspire by forcible inspiration. Ante manam maaluga, so in normal conditions we take air during inspiration. This is forcible inspiration. So the additional volume of air that is inspired into the body by forcible inspiration. In normal condition, inspiration, the volume of air is 500 ml. 500 ml of the volume of air that is inspired. That is tidal volume. Beyond the tidal volume, extra air that is inspired by forcible inspiration is called inspiratory reserve volume, IRV. That is about 2,500 to 3,000 ml. Right now, 2,500 to 3,000 ml. Yes. So that is inspiratory reserve volume. Third one is expiratory reserve volume. Expiratory reserve volume. Expiratory reserve volume. This is opposite to inspiratory reserve volume. Additional volume of breath that a person can inspire by forceful inspiration. Here, additional volume of air that a person can expire by forcible expiration. Forcible expiration. Additional volume of air that a person can expire by forceful expiration. This is E or V. This is what is called E or V. This is about 1,000 to 1,100 ml. 1,000 to 1,100 ml. This is E or V. Opposite. Additional volume of air that a person can inspire by forcible inspiration, 2,500 to 3,000 ml. Additional volume of air that is inspired by a person by forceful expiration, expired by a person, that is expiratory reserve volume. That means in normal expiration, we release some amount of air, that is what is called tidal volume. Beyond that, if you expire some air, then it is ERV, additional reserve volume. Additional reserve volume. Here I will tell you. Third one. Next, fourth one. Functional residual volume. RV. RV. So in the volumes, first one is tidal volume, inspiratory reserve volume, expiratory reserve volume, and fourth, residual volume. What is residual volume? After forcible expiration, the amount of air that is remained in the lungs is called residual volume. The amount of or volume of air remains in the lungs after forcible expiration. So, volume of air remains in the lungs after forcible expiration. So, after forcible expiration, much of the air is released out from the lungs. Even then, some volume of air remains in the lungs. So, the volume of air that remains in the lungs after forcible expiration is called residual volume. Residual volume. This is about 1,100 to 1,200 ml. These are the four important air volumes related to lungs. So, four volumes of air. One, tidal volume. Listen carefully. the amount of the volume of air that is inspired or volume of air expired during normal breathing. That is measured about 500 ml per minute, 500 into 12 to 16. So that gives 6,000 to 8,000 ml of air. That is tidal volume per minute in the lungs. Next one, inspiratory reserve capacity. Inspiratory reserve capacity. This is defined as the additional volume of air can be inspired by a person by forceful inspiration beyond tidal volume. That is estimated about 2,500 to 3,000 ml. The expiratory reserve volume, the additional volume or amount of air that can be expired by a person by forceful expiration. That is about 1,000 to 1,100 ml. And finally, a residual volume or V. That is, the volume of air remains in the lungs after forcible expiration. That is estimated about 1,100 to 1,200. That is 1,100 to 1,200 ml of air that is remain. That volume of air remains in the lungs even after forcible expiration. That is what is called residual volume. These are the 4 types of volumes. Now, residual capacities. Reserve capacities. One, inspiratory capacity. Inspiratory capacity, IC, lung capacities, or you can say lung volumes and lung capacities. Capacities are estimated by adding different lung volumes. Listen carefully. Capacities, these are ascertained by adding different lung volumes. The first capacity, inspiratory capacity, or IC. Inspiratory capacity or IC. This is PV plus IRV. PV plus IRV is equal to IC. So, by adding tidal volume and inspiratory reserve volume, we can obtain inspiratory capacity. Inspiratory capacity. Write down carefully. Inspiratory capacity. Total volume, here total what should be there? Total volume of air that a person can inspire after, listen carefully, normal expiration. After normal expiration, the total amount of air that can be inspired by a person after normal expiration. We have released out. We release the air to outside by normal expiration. Then the maximum amount of air that can inspire, that includes the TV plus IR, tidal volume, extra volume. So how much comes? The value is tidal volume is 500. Whereas IRV, inspiratory reserve volume, how much? IRV, how much? That is 2,500 to 3,000. 2,500 to 3,000. 2,500 plus 500, 3,000. Or 3,000 plus 500, 3,500. A question may be asked, IRV value is, IC value is, inspirating capacity value is PV plus IRV. PV is 500 and IRV is 2,500. So that is 3,000 or 500 plus 3,000, 3,500. So IC value is 3,000 to 3,500 ml. Important one. Next capacity. Expiratory capacity. Expiratory capacity. That gives EC. EC is equal to PV plus ERV. Expiratory capacity is the addition or the sum total of PV and ERV volume. So this can be explained. Total volume of air that a person can expire after normal inspiration, opposite sentence. You can write down as total volume of air that a person can expire after normal inspiration, that gives EC. You write down. I am writing down total volume of air that a person, write down, can expire after normal inspiration. Normal inspiration. Important. If you understand the sentences, it is very to remember. There is little bit confusion and we cannot remember this numerical value. So what is EIC, inspiratory capacity? It is the sum total of PV plus IRV. PV tidal volume, IRV extra volume. So the amount of air that can be taken in, that includes tidal volume plus extra volume, that is IRV. So the total amount of air that a person can inspire after normal expiration, that is about PV plus IRV. We can estimate those values: 2,500 plus 500, 3,000, or 3,000 plus 500. So it varies between 3,000 to 3,500. Coming to the value of expiratory capacity. Expiratory capacity 500. PV is 500, ERV is either 1,000 or 1,100. So it gives 1,500 or to 1,600 ml. So EC value is 1,500 to 1,600 ml. I think it is clear to you. Again, I am defining these two terms. Inspiratory capacity, the total volume of air that a person can inspire after normal expiration, that includes EV plus IRV. And the opposite term, expiratory capacity, the total volume of air that a person can expire after normal inspiration, that includes, that gives PV plus ERV values. IC value is 3,000 to 3,500. And EC value is 1,500 to 1,600. Right. Next, third one. Functional residual capacity. Functional residual capacity. Functional residual capacity, that is ERV plus RV, residual volume. ERV, what is ERV? expiratory reserve volume. The extra amount of air that can be expired after forcible inspiration. That is called ERV that I explained. ERV plus RV. That is functional residual capacity. This is defined as volume of air remains in the lungs after normal expiration. After normal expiration. After normal expiration. I am repeating the definition once again. Functional residual capacity, that means the total amount of air that remains in the lungs. That remains in the lungs after normal expiration, that includes ERV plus RV. What is the value of ERV? 1000 to 1100. What is the value of residual volume? 1100 to 1200. So total 2100 to 2300 ml. Functional residual volume 1000 to 1100 ERV. Residual volume 1100 to 1200. So that is estimated to 2100 to 2300 ml. This is the value of functional residual capacity, F or C. So IC is equal TV plus IRV. EC, expiratory capacity, is called ERV plus TV. Functional residual capacity is called ERV plus RV. Expiratory reserve capacity, reserve volume plus residual volume. And next one, vital capacity. Vital capacity. Vital capacity, VC. 1 minute. Vital capacity. Two types of definitions. One is total volume of air that a person can breathe in. Write down carefully. Breathe in after forcible expiration, not normal expiration. After forcible expiration. So the total volume of air that a person can breathe in after forcible expiration, that includes IRV plus TV plus ERV. So VC is equal, vital capacity is called inspiratory reserve volume, tidal volume, expiratory reserve volume. So all these three figures, the sum total of these three figures gives vital capacity. So vital capacity, total volume of air that a person can breathe in after forcible expiration. Otherwise, it can be defined as vital capacity defined as total volume of air. Total volume of air that a person can breathe out. That a person can breathe out, can breathe out after forceful inspiration, after forcible inspiration. So vital capacity can be defined in two ways. The total volume of air that a person can breathe in after forceful expiration, or the total volume of air that a person can breathe out after forceful inspiration. Here, forcible. So that value VC is equal to IRV plus TP plus ERV. So we have to sum all these three values. What is IRV? 2,500 to 3,000. Right. What is TV? 500. Here also 500. What is ERV? 1,000 to 1,100. Okay. We sum these three values. 4,000 to 4,600. This is the value of vital capacity. This may be also a multiple choice question. Vital capacity of a human lung is about 4,000 to 4,600 ml. This value is estimated by adding three figures. One is tidal volume, ERV and IRV. IRV plus tidal volume plus ERV. All these three figures, sum of these three figures gives the value of vital capacity. How can you define vital capacity? Means that total volume of air that a person can breathe in after forcible expiration, or the total volume of air that a person can breathe out after forcible inspiration. VC is equal to IRV plus VP plus ERV, 2,500. What is it? IRV, inspiratory reservoir, 500 tidal volume, and expiratory reservoir volume 1,000. Like that, 3,000 or 500, 1,000. So it varies between 4,000 to 4,600 ml, as these figures are taken from NCERT. Like variations will be there, but we are strictly confining to NCERT book values. Right. Finally, total lung capacity. Total lung capacity. TLC, total lung capacity. Important one. Total lung capacity. This is defined as total volume of air. Total volume of air that is accommodated. That is accommodated. That is accommodated in lungs. Total volume of air that is accommodated in the lungs, that gives total lung capacity. That is RV plus VC. RV plus VC. Total VC means IRV plus TV plus ERV. That is estimated about 4,000 to 4,600. What is RV? 1,100 to 1,200. 1,100 to 1,200. So 1,100 to 1,200. That accords to 5,100 to 5,800 ml. This is total lung capacity. You have to write down all these figures, which are very, very useful. And in the coming NEET 2021 examination, based on these figures, one definite question can be expected. So you have to thorough these numerical values. You must remember these numerical values, because by doing number of practices, then only you can remember. Otherwise, after 1 hour, you will forget. Even myself also will forget the numerical values. I know the concept, but I cannot remember. After 1 hour, I will forget all this. I will simply jumble all these values. In my mind, all the values will become jumbled. So you have to write down these values continuously. By that, they will be fixed in the mind. So short memory can be changed into long memory by limbic system of the brain. Okay. So I review once again all the values. Respiratory volume. Why I am stressing on this chapter means in the respiratory system, definitely a question will be asked from this part, from today's class. So first one is tidal volume. Value is 500 ml for each breathing. Per minute, into 12 to 16 times, 6,000 to 8,000. And inspiratory reserve volume, IURV, inspiratory reserve volume.